What's happening out there, guys? I got a couple different views going right now. And the reason primarily is because I want to give you guys a couple different places that you can come and find me. Um, so happy, what are we, Thursday? Happy Thursday. Hey, what's going on over there? I see Carol. I see Amber. What's up, guys? Hashtag live. If you are live, give me a hashtag live. Tell me what's up. What's up? How is it? Everybody doing? Take a look here. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. There we go. How is everybody? Guys, we are going to be talking about FSBOs and expireds. So I hope you are bringing your questions. What's up, Kayla? How's it going? Hopefully you are bringing your questions. Do you have any questions? Let's talk FSBO and expireds. Let's talk FSBO and expireds. And hey, what's up, Isachar? Hey, hashtag live. Carol's live. What's going down? Guys, let's talk about FSBOs and expireds. What's up, JL? Who's got questions about FSBOs and expireds? How can I help you? What can I do for you? What questions do you have? Are you struggling with anything? Bring your questions. What's up, Olga? Who is in? Who is looking for help with FSBOs and expireds? Guys, how can I help you? I'm here to serve today. So what's up, Jennifer? Jennifer Henry Romano, slamming 44,000 people in this group, changing lives and impacting others. I love it. Jennifer, thanks for popping on here for a minute. Hope all is well with you. I see Vicky. I see Jillian. What's going down? What's going down? Let's see. We'll be getting going here in a second. There we go. All right. How's the week going? What's up, Dave? Thanks for being on here. Hope all is well in your world. All right, guys. So let's talk a little bit about FSBOs and expireds. Let's talk a little bit about what's important, what we need to steer clear from, and how the hell can we get these opportunities without cold calling, without banging on the doors. Like, what is it that we can do to get FSBO and expired without banging on the door? Who has some ideas? Let's kind of talk through it, right? That's a great question. Isachar's already on it. He's like, bro, I don't have time for this rambling mumbo jumbo crap. I'm getting right to the questions. I like it. What's up, Carolyn? Awesome, man. Thank you for the question. So I'll answer that here in 2 seconds. So, guys, what we're really focusing on right now is how do we get FSBO and expireds? How can we cut through the noise? We're talking about a lead generation. We're talking about leads like going after leads. What's up, kid? We're talking about going after leads in a way that like legitimately is like the most crowded space ever, right? And a lot of these big box brokerages, a lot of the brokerages anywhere, big or small, that are training their agents, excuse me, my contacts. Jesus, what's going down today? You know, you like legit. What's up, Isachar? Facts. You're legit like in a position, unfortunately, when we're all being taught the same ways to reach out to everybody. And candidly, it's a dangerous game. It's a really, really dangerous game. So we have to be careful about how we go about our lead generation tactfully, right? Because if we're all going about lead gen the exact same way, we're preying on these poor suspects like the exact leadsdrop.com. Well, that was close, Isachar. I appreciate that, but I'm going to hide it because it's leaddrops.com. But yeah. So, but yes, the problem is so many people are going after these canceleds and expireds and FSBOs and all these different lead types the exact same way. And unfortunately, it just doesn't work that way. We have to be more tactful than that. We have to provide value. We have to provide value and solutions. So it's all about value based and solution based lead generation. And you can go out all you want. You can go out all you want and bang on doors and make cold calls. But I want you guys to understand something. This idea that we have an obligation, this idea that we're like, oh no, but I have to make the phone calls. It'd be a disservice if I didn't bang on their door. This idea that like we're doing a disservice if we don't bother and harass people is super inappropriate, because it's the exact thing that's tearing us down. Just because you dialed the number doesn't mean that you made genuine, legitimate, and authentic content. Just because you picked up the phone and called people. There we go. Thanks, Isachar. Just because we picked up the phone, or just because we went and banged on the door, doesn't mean we were adding value. To call somebody up and say, hey, I was wondering if you want to sell your house, it's not going to cut it. To slam on the door and be like, hey, I just wanted to let you know I'm an agent and I'm awesome. Look how handsome my new haircut is. That's not going to cut it. We've got to do better than that. So I teach value and solution-based lead generation, and you've got to start changing the way you think. If the way that you're prospecting, if the people that you're calling on are not receiving value in the way that you personally would like to receive it, then you've got to change your strategy. If you're picking up the phone and making cold calls, but you yourself hate receiving cold calls, then you need to think about what you're doing. Why is it that you are the exception to that rule? Why is it that people will love talking to you, but you hate talking to all these other people who are doing the same thing that you're doing, right? It's kind of backwards. So let's jump into answering some of these questions. If you have questions, please ask away. We are live. Feel free to ask your questions. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and take some questions. I see Becky and Christy are popping in here. What's going down? I see some questions already been asked. So I'm going to go ahead and address a couple of those. And just before I do that, guys, I mean, everything that I talk about here, everything I do, like I practice what I preach. For those of you who don't know who the hell I am, I'm James Hoff. I'm a licensed, actively practicing realtor in Southern California. I am in my 7th year. And I'm absolutely 100% my 7th year. I'm still out in the trenches. I teach from experience. I teach from real world experience because I'm out there doing this too. In fact, this morning it was rather, excuse me, I'm like all messed up. This morning at about 9:30, I went to an $800,000 listing appointment, gave an opinion of value, kind of playing that game. So I'm out there connecting the dots and piecing stuff together as well. But I only teach based on actual experience. Been a 6-figure agent since my first year. And I do have a lot of free content available. If you're interested in picking up today one of my exact lead generation strategies for expired and FSBO, you can pick it up today at leaddrops.com. So leaddrops.com. And it's $20 a month. You get a new strategy every single month. So anyway, check that out. So let's answer some of these questions. What's up, Jesse? And to answer the quick question, do I sell leads? No, the answer is absolutely not. I absolutely do not sell leads, but I will teach you how to get them for yourself. Oh, look at these questions. We got some good ones coming in here. All right, cool. Let's see. Let's go. I'm copying your questions into a document over here because I got multiple cameras and I just want to make sure that I can get to all these. So let me, I'm jotting them down real quick. Hang with me. And then I'm going to start answering. There we go. We got Olga over here. Let's do this. Copy, paste. There we go. All right. So the first question, how do I follow up with FSBO and expired? Well, one of the things that I like with my campaigns and the way that I go about stuff, one of the ways that I personally conduct business is I only want to talk to people who want to talk to me. Right. So I only want to talk to people who ultimately want to talk to me. So my thing is, it's, in my opinion, you shouldn't have to follow up a bajillion times with someone to get them to like you, right? Or to get them to warm up and to play that game. Put your message out, give them the opportunity to walk away. It's called the takeaway approach. And a lot of times when we put ourselves in a position where we're not screaming desperation, like if I don't get this business, I'm going broke, people are more attracted to that because then you don't come off as that like ruthless vulture who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, right? So what I would recommend is in your initial communication, set the expectation for what kind of follow-up you're going to be doing. And then it makes your follow-up a lot easier. In fact, it's better received because when you do your follow-up, you're like, oh, well, I just said in my letter, or I just said in my text message or my phone call or the piece I left on your door. Forget about the type of, or the method rather of the lead gen for a moment. Okay. Forget about what type of campaigning you're doing as far as like your strategy to get the leads. Right. But what I would recommend you do is set the expectation on your communications for follow up. So if you send a letter, for example, if you send a letter, then put in there like, if I don't hear from you, I'll follow up in a week to see how things are going and make sure that you received my communication, right? So like that's what I would do. But specifically, there's a couple ways I could interpret the question. So specifically, how to follow up with a FSBO or expired. I personally like to do a lot of follow up with direct mail and a lot of initial communication with direct mail. But one thing that you'll really find works well for me is I also do these video landing pages. So instead of me having to do a bunch of follow-up pieces, what I tell people is, hey, questioning my sanity, or maybe you're just not ready for a conversation, no problem. Pop on over to this website for more information and to meet me in a video. What's up, Indy? And then people can go to that website and it's kind of like, it's me going, hey, what's going on? You probably got my letter. That's why you're over here. And if you didn't get your letter, I don't know. It didn't get my letter. I don't know how you got over here, but good on you for guessing the domain. And I'm a little worried about how much free time you have on your hands. Anyway, my name is James. And the reason I sent you the letter is obviously because I'm interested in helping you sell your house. But you're here because maybe you had some reservations about calling me. Is this guy legit? What is it all about? One of the reasons I like to do in the video follow-up is because it gives those guys an opportunity to meet me, right? It gives the guys an opportunity to meet me before they actually call me, right? They get to catch my tone, catch my gestures, feel my vibe. Like, how is this guy going to be, right? So then they know up front, like, are they talking to crazy? And I don't really know that. I don't break the crazy out until I get there. Fuck that. But they get to figure out, like, are we talking to crazy? All right, like, what's the deal going to be, right? So it's good that they get a chance to meet me online, and then it affirms the opportunity for them to call me because they go, well, that's cool. This guy doesn't seem like totally off his rocker, so maybe we'll give him a ring. And the other thing that's really nice is it reduces the amount of follow-up I have to do because they initiate the follow-up on my behalf because they choose whether or not to go there. See, again, I like talking to people who want to talk to me. So if I just reach them, in the way that that makes it like very non-confrontational and very non-awkward. It just makes it easier for all of us. What's up, Amy? All right, so I'm going to move on to the next question. Let's do done. All right, cool. Let's do done. All right, done. All right, so let's go to how to contact an expired. Well, this is an easy one for me. And the easy one for me is the reason it's easy for me is because the way that I reach out to FSBO and expired, really simple. I reach out by direct mail. Direct mail is single-handedly the absolute 100% best way for me to reach out to FSBO and expired. You can do some targeting on social media, but my top three, what's up, Diane? My top three forms of lead generation are my top three forms, not my top three campaigns. My top three forms of lead generation are going to be direct mail, social media, and open houses. Within direct mail, I've got a shitload of campaigns. Within social media, I've got a shitload of campaigns. So I can go after different lead types, right? Which is really great. But it's important for you guys to understand what's the psychology? What's the mentality behind it, right? Like, I can get a ton of contacts off of social media. Are they leads? I don't know if they're leads, right? They require a lot more follow-up. With my contacts through letter, I actually get people who call me. And when those guys call me, they're not just a contact, they're like an on-fire lead. So the best way to reach out to an expired is to actually go print a letter out, put it in a hand-addressed envelope, and ship it off. And here's what's cool. It allows them to receive the information on their own time. It allows them to oh, you guys are so great. I love these questions. And I promise you, I'm going to get to every single one of them. I've got them all here. I'm just going to go right down the list. So the benefit to sending the letter is it tells them exactly why I'm reaching out. The letter that I send is a jaw dropper. So it's like super crazy. Like, I think Olga could speak to it. Isachar could speak to it. Like, there's a bunch of you on here who probably have my expired already. I got to tell you, some of those people can probably vet to the fact that it is it is a different expired approach. And so but it's not just different because of the direct mail, it's different because of the messaging. And contrary to popular belief, direct mail actually does land and give you the opportunity to get in front of more people than cold calling or door knocking, because cold calling or door knocking is hopeful that they're home. Direct mail works for me all the time, all hours of the day, every day of the year, because people all get their mail at different times. And guess what? When a home expires off the MLS, they get like a bajillion phone calls the very next day. And you know what's crazy? I don't have to worry about it. I cut through the noise because I get in front of everybody. The people that shut their phones off, no worries. They still hit their mailbox. You know what I mean? All right. So direct mail, that's how I like to contact expireds. All right. Next question. Do you get you can get expired addresses from your MLS. Well, that's not so much a question as it is a statement. If we reverse that and say, can you get expired addresses from your MLS? Yes, you can. Now, whether you choose to leverage the information that you already pay for and have access to is totally up to you. If you'd rather overspend and then pay another service to provide you with the addresses of all the properties that expired, even though you could just go into your MLS and get the same damn thing, then that's up to you. But yes, to answer your question, you can get the addresses of the actual expireds right off of the MLS. And by the way, maybe you don't prospect off of them, but I got to tell you, the reality is, or you say, I'm not prospecting off of the MLS. I'm just checking my data. I'm just cross-referencing to make sure that they're not in the actual market. Ew, that's gross. Excuse me. Haven't even had dinner yet. What's up, Lauren? So anyway, the answer is yes. You can get the addresses right off of the MLS. Now, mailing addresses might be a little different. Actual address and mailing address and property address for sale versus what's up, Eric? Address for sale versus address that you are mailing to and where the owner can be reached could be different, because it could be vacant home, right? Could be an investment property. The next question, should I put marketing materials in my letter? That's a great question. The only marketing material I ever have put into an initial letter would be a business card. And I got to be honest with you, I've done a ton of research on this. There is absolutely no difference in putting a business card versus not. People care about the message. Once I get them to open the envelope and they get to the letter part, they don't care about what falls out of it. They've already opened it. The curiosity sparked from the hand addressed envelope. There's no commercialization or logos on the outside of the envelope. So it really gets them to open it. And then what you're doing is you're just putting your message right in front of them, right? And the expired letter is super legit. So I don't have to put any marketing material in there. What is nice is because I give them in an advanced tactic, I give them an opportunity, and this is not taught in the lead drop specifically, but and nor is it necessary to be successful, by the way. Oh, you're super, super welcome, Isachar. Let's do this. Did I give you early access to those letter campaigns? All right, bro. All right, bro. Yeah, you got some early access. But yeah, so what's nice is you don't have to put a bunch of marketing material in there. Because on the advanced strategy where these guys will go to like my video landing pages and stuff, it's really legit because they can get some marketing and propaganda right there, right? All right, so let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Hopefully, guys, and if I'm not answering, you have other follow-up questions, just ask them. It's all good. I'm going to keep going. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Next one was, I was referred to a seller. Olga, I think this was from you. All right. I was referred to a seller. When I called the lady, she asked me what my date of birth was. Apparently, she is an astrologer and needs to check if I'm right for the job. She has a $1.5 million condo. How would you react? Well, what I probably would say is something to the effect of, here's my date of birth. And does that fall within, I was born on December 11th. Does that fall within your line of thinking? And then they might say, no, unfortunately it doesn't. It'd be like, awesome. Well, today's your lucky day because the stars align and I'm in a different place and blah, 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 blah. But whatever, like, when do you want your listing to be born? Like, I don't know. Like I would literally just be like, listen, there is literally zero logical explanation to indicate that me selling homes successfully is based on like a zodiac sign. You know what I mean? So I would literally just bat it down with logic, and I would just be like, "Hey, I super understand, and I could be a little superstitious myself. I don't necessarily go out of my way to break mirrors and walk under ladders and look for black cats to cross in front of me on the street. But I got to be honest with you, I've yet to lose a sale opportunity because I'm not the I don't have the right daily horoscope, or I'm not within the astrology field, but whatever. So anyway, that probably isn't the best answer, but that's what I would do. And part of that is because I can't change my date of birth. So what the fuck? If they don't want to work with me, they just don't want to work with me. What's up, Mark? Um, Return address and name on envelopes? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I put the return address and my name on the envelopes, but one thing you should note, um, Brandy's like, change the subject quick. Yeah, you change the subject. Like, anyway, about your house that totally didn't sell and totally like you sucked at it and whatever. Um, Diane's like dying over there. I was there at day one before all this. Oh yeah, baby. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, that's right. You were. Isachar's been around. He's got access to some of my stuff for free, like back in the heyday before the glory was there, right? But you're probably getting better training on it now, Isachar, which is kind of fun and cool. So I appreciate your support. Isachar is one of my longtime followers. You're the man, bro. You are the man. So return address and name on envelopes. Yes, I put my name. I just put James Hoff, put my return address, but I have a UPS store mailbox. So my wife and we have a few different companies, but I've got a business address over there for my real estate sales business, and I just have everything go there. What's up, Jordan? What's up, bro? Dude, Jordan's going crazy out there, guys, running like all these races, making us guys look bad over here. So Jordan is you got like the trifecta, right, bro? What's up, Adele? Got the trifecta. He's out there doing the Spartan races and some crazy stuff. Yeah, man. Anyway, congratulations, guys. Follow him. He's got some, man, like I got it, man, like making me want to go get in shape and lift some weights and go run some courses out there, dude. Anyway, so yes, so name and return address on the envelopes, totally fine. And actually what I do is printed from the printer, right? So I don't hand address the return address. What's up, Neil? I don't hand address the return address, but I do hand address the send to. And if you join lead drops, by the way, I give you a little secret. I give you a secret so you don't get writer's cramp. I teach you how to get rid of the hand addressing problem, but still have you hand addressing the envelope. And no, it's not hiring a teenager to do it for you. So just chill. But no, so good opportunity there. What's up, Julio? But yeah, so you're going to need the return address on there. And part of that is because you want to be able to track the number that comes back. That doesn't actually land. So you can see like if you got it, if your mail, if your targeting is correct, and if you're getting good data, right? So that's it. Let's see. How long should I wait to contact an expired without seeming desperate? The sooner the better. I would contact an expired immediately. So as soon as you realize it expired, get that letter in the mail or get whatever type of communication that you want, like get it out there. There's no reason to wait. Guys, a lot of times we have problems with prospecting, and it doesn't matter if it's FSBO expired or anything else for that matter. A lot of times we have issues with prospecting because we overthink it. Just do it. Like if they're going to say no to you, they're going to say no today or tomorrow. So just get the communication out today and get it over with and then move on to the next thing, right? If they're going to say yes, they're going to say yes. So that's great, right? But we don't want to prolong whatever the answer is, okay? Let's see. Follow up with a postcard, text, email, call, or surprise visit, or all of the above. No surprise visits. You're welcome, Carol. No surprise visits. Guys, if you show up at my door without an invitation, I don't know if I should be expecting a gift or if you're looking to get shot in the face. But the reality is we're just, thanks, Pam. The problem is, and the reality is that we're in kind of a weird stage right now. We're kind of starving for human connection, but there's so much deception and there's so much bullshit out there. And there's so many people that are conning us and trying to steal our info and our identity. And they're disingenuous, and they're just not like good people, right? And so they have bad motives and all that stuff. We want to get rid of those people. We don't want them in our lives, but we don't know if they're the ones banging on the door. You come knocking on my door without an invitation, like I said, I don't know if you're delivering me an Amazon package or if you're looking for like a punch in the face. But the reality is I'm not interested in talking to you on when you're disrupting my time. If I was interested in talking to an agent because my listing expired, I'll reach out to the agent. And you can hit me up by letter. You can send me an email if you feel like. I'll pick what I like to do. But I don't need to get blown up, and I don't need to be disrupted at work on my cell phone while I'm at work. Sukraj, what's up? I don't need to be disrupted while I'm at work. I don't need you disrupting my family. I don't need you disrupting my dinner, my whatever. What's up, Elmer? Elmer's on YouTube, baby. See a couple of you over here, so feel free to chime in and let me know where you're from. Hashtag live, all that good fun stuff. And spread the word, share the link, let everybody know it's here. Elmer's in lead drops, by the way, learning and churning and burning these awesome strategies. So that's kind of cool. I'll answer more questions about what the hell lead drops is later, but it's just basically I teach my exact lead generation strategies. And this month you happen to be able to get the expired strategy for free when you join. And one of my many expired strategies. And then oh, yeah. See, Amazon's got it down. And then you also get the strategy of the month. And this month it happens to be FSBO. So put your hands together. It's like peanut butter and jelly. FSBO expired is like peanut butter and jelly, baby. Anyway, Eisenchart says Amazon doesn't knock anymore. They just drop the package and send you a photo. And it's interesting, guys. I mean, think about that, right? We just live in a different time. And it's not, none of this is a problem, by the way, but we have to adjust. We have to acknowledge the time that we're in. We have to acknowledge the pros and cons of what we've got, the way that we choose to communicate, the way that people receive our communication. You don't get to pick how people receive it. So you need to pay attention to their feedback and then go from there. Guys, if you have questions over here on YouTube, please feel free to ask. And then same over here on Facebook. One of these days I'll get Instagram and we'll get I got Instagram, but I get everybody on the same stuff at the same time. That's some hot tea. Nothing like some hot tea to keep the pipes clear. All right. So no, follow up with a postcard, text, email, or surprise visit. No surprise visits. You can follow up with a postcard if you want. I think it's a week follow-up. They've already gotten a letter from you. I'd actually rather follow up with a letter. And if you wanted to follow up with a letter, I'd follow up with one of two things. Either the exact same letter that you followed up with the first time, or a secondary piece that drives them to a like a video landing page or a website. You could send them a text message or an email and a phone call, but candidly, I would much rather you leave some of that personal stuff out of the way. Anybody can get my address. I don't need you kind of like stalking my other information, right? I'd rather you find me on Facebook and private message me than send me a text message or an email. One man's opinion. Let's see. How long should I wait to contact an expired without seeming desperate? I think I answered that already. I probably just copied it twice. Let's see. Is there any benefit to sending an expired a second letter? If yes, how long after the first? The answer to that is going to depend on how long you're willing to wait to be given an answer on whether or not they want to work with you. So if you're gonna send communication to a prospect, I mean, what are we afraid of, right? Like I said, guys, like it's so interesting, like how much we critique this because, excuse me, if they say the average you gotta attempt to contact somebody like 15 times or whatever before they on average will like respond to your communication. Okay, well that's fine, but like or you got to market them 15 times. Well, then market to them as quickly as possible. So they just pepper them with stuff. Right. But I would follow it up like in just a couple of days. I mean, give them a chance to respond to the initial one and then send the second one out like immediately. Right. It's not the end of the world. Hell, you could send one out one day, one out the next day. You could do one every day for a week, like whatever. Right. Let's see. Eisenchar says I actually got all of them for free. So I have them all. Haha, Eisenchar, guess what, bro? I know you think you have them all, but you don't have them all. I've got a whole bunch of letters I haven't released yet, man. And most of that is because I got to convert every time I do a have a new course or have a new piece that comes out, I got to make sure that it is appropriately taught, right? So although I have a lot more content than is currently out there for sale or for consumption, free or paid for, the reality is I've got to make sure that the relevant training is behind it, because sending you information that you can't do anything with isn't going to help you. Like giving you a tool that you don't know how to use doesn't work, right? So there's that. But you're in lead drop, so you're not only getting access to the piece, but like you get access to some of the logic behind it. And that's what's cool, by the way, about lead drops is like it's not just me shoving a piece at you and saying good luck, go fuck yourself. Like, no, I'm like legitimately hitting you with information. You get the actual digital assets that you need to be able to do the marketing and all that stuff, right? And then what we do is I teach you the exact strategy on how to do it. And what's cool about lead drops is you only get one new strategy per month. So you get the expire for free because you signed up. It's good for you. And then you get the FSBO this month because that's the strategy of the month. But what's legit is the trainings aren't super long. They're like anywhere from like 30 minutes to about an hour and a half. And I post them in the dashboard. You get private access to this dashboard. And what's legit is like, it's not like 50 hours of training where you sit there and like, all right, cool, I got to take 3 weeks off of work so I can learn all this shit, right? Like that product will come out, but that'll be my business in a box. By the way, does anyone just want me to create a product, like a consumption product where it's education and it's literally like my real estate business in a box? It would be like a 60-day course, 30 intensive days, but like exactly what to do, from like getting your life and your mind in order to your finances and all that stuff, all the way to like lead generation, systems, prospecting, follow-up, closing, like all that stuff. Like, is anybody interested in that? Like the business in a box? Because that is, I got a big announcement about when that is potentially going to be coming up. And by potentially, I mean actually legitimately for sure 100% coming up. But we're going to be, you're going to want to put a few pennies away there, because over the holiday season, you're going to have an opportunity to make an investment in your business. And the tentative launch on this is going to be January of 2020, baby. So we're going to be starting the new year with the new business. And this is going to be a 60-day intensive. And I'm talking like 30 intensive days. And then I'm going to give you 30 extra days to like explore outside of just what I taught. Right. So it's going to be a lot of craziness there. Anyway. All right, let's go. Let's go to the next question, because I got off topic there for a minute. I assume no harm in your letterhead being on your letter being on my branded letterhead. No, you can put it on your branded letterhead, of course. Yeah, you're not going to want to put like the you're not going to want to put the re-raw. Yeah, well, Kimberly, you're supposed to give yourself the gift for Christmas, damn it. Like, what are you talking about? And also, Kimberly, if you, I believe, I don't know, I don't recall exactly when you started in my ReRaw 100, but if you remain in my ReRaw 100, you may actually get access to this. So, hint on that. I don't know if you're planning on re-upping the game, but you're more than welcome to. And that's advice that's going to cost me more than I would make on it. So, I'd make a hell of a lot more if you just bought the other course. Hey, thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. Yeah, so it could totally be on my letterhead, on your letterhead. Of course, I don't want you sending out the ReRaw like brand on the top of it. You need to put your brand and empower you. I put it on my ReRaw letterhead because I gotta be honest. I mean, ReRaw is just sexy as fuck. I just want you guys to be staring at that brand as much as you can. But yeah, you're gonna put it on your branded letterhead. All right. Isachar says, I have not logged into lead drops for this month yet. I am clearing up and following up on all those people from the Facebook app. Awesome, bro. Well, I'm happy to hear that. That is super legit. So, Isaachar's next question. Kimberly says, January is my brokest month right after Christmas. Yes, that's right. And guess what, guys? I was going to try to have this business in a box available like literally for October 1st. But I got to be honest with you, I have had such a huge demand, and there has been such a big need for lead drops. Like lead drops is $20 a month, by the way. So lead drops is $20 a month, and I legitimately it is the program that no agent should have an excuse to not be in. Like, you can't come to me and be like, I can't afford lead drops. If you can't afford lead drops, you're in the wrong biz, dude. Like, you've got to, and I'm not selling leads. I'm teaching you how to generate them for yourself. So it's a practical opportunity for you to take advantage of. What's up, Nikki? But it teaches my actual lead gen strategies, which is awesome because you're getting 7 years of testing, 7 years of my money spent into research and all that good stuff, right? So there you go. So I see some other questions coming in. So Isachar says Reraw 100 and then business in a box. All right. So what is the Reraw 100? I have a group called the Reraw 100. For those of you who think like, oh, James Hoff is just this dude who does letters. 2-piece and fries, baby. No. So James Hoff does not just do letters. In fact, Reraw is a real estate coaching and education program. Yeah, it's my product. So yeah. So Chris, so lead drops, let me post it in here. Lead drops is an educational product, and it is $20 a month, no setup fees, no contracts. You can cancel anytime. It's $20 a month. And the way that it works is you join, you get billed $20 immediately, and then your billings move to the first of every month thereafter. And it's basically a pay per strategy deal. So I drop a strategy for one calendar month. And then, like, for example, on at the end of the day on September 30th, right? So right when we tipped into October, boom, September's strategy disappeared. It was gone. So September was a Facebook ad. It was my exact ad copy, my exact targeting, my exact everything. And once we got to October, boom, September is gone, right? It's off the dashboard. October 1st is when everybody gets billed. And then October 2nd is when the new strategy drops. And then come November 1st, boom, October strategy gone, and then new strategy for November. They're not all direct mail pieces. And even if you don't like the pieces exactly as it stands, the hope is that we start altering and shifting your perspective so that your mindset and the way that you think about and approach lead generation just ultimately changes, right? For the better. Okay, so Isachar says Reraw 100. The Reraw 100, if you're interested in that, is I think it's, hang on one second. We're going through some renovation over here. The Reraw 100 is an exclusive group. I'm not just a podcaster. I'm not just a guy who teaches letters. But the Reraw 100 is actually a program that is exclusive to 100 people. We do have room. This is an annual membership. So unlike lead drops where it's $20 a month and you can get in and out as you please, the Reraw 100 is an annual membership. Okay. There is a monthly installment plan. There is a 4-time installment plan for the first 4 months of your membership. And then there is a one-time lump sum if that's better for you. It is $19.88 for the entire year. Okay. If you do monthly, it's $197 a month. But it is a year-long commitment. And the reason is because what we do is we go through group coaching calls every week. You get access to 100% of my content, all of my lead gen stuff, all of it, like all of my lead gen stuff is available to my Reraw 100 members at all times. When I launch new strategies, they get access to it for free. It's legit like part of it, right? It's like legit part of the program. You just get it. Isachar is asking, can we get Facebook ads for sellers? Yeah, we're going to talk about that at some point in the future. Isachar, I do have some of those. Buyers are sellers, by the way. So like a lot of most buyers have something to sell. Oftentimes a buyer will have something to sell. So targeting the buyer and getting them interested as a buyer first is a great way. What's up, Jenny? To go back and get them as a seller. What's going down, Keith? Anyway, if you're interested in small group coaching, interested in every single group coaching call that I've ever had with this group, you can go to, whoa, what is this? You can go to reraw.com, and reraw.com will actually give you the access to reraw.com will give you access to the information you need about the Reraw 100. And and then you can choose whether or not you want to go ahead and sign up there. It's totally up to you. Okay. The reason the Reraw 100 exists is because there needs to be coaching and education that understands that not every agent fits into the same box. I'm not here to teach you how to do everything. I'm here to teach you what you need to know. What's nice about the Reraw 100 is it's a coaching, education, and accountability group. So sometimes we talk about personal development. Sometimes we talk about, other stuff. Sometimes we talk about business growth and development. A lot of times we talk about tactical lead gen strategies and deployment. So reraw.com if you guys are interested in learning more about the Reraw 100. And I'm only bringing that up because Isachar asked. Wasn't on the schedule here. But the program that's going to be coming up is going to be and I believe Isachar asked about this too. Said business in a box. Yeah, there's going to be a program launching next year. You'll have an opportunity to get pre-registered for it over the holidays at a reduced price for being part of the inaugural group. But what I'm going to do is it's going to be a 60-day program with a 30-day intensive and then a 30-day kind of like application follow-up and coaching and Q&A. Excuse me, and then access to like my stuff so you can go play on the playground of all the other stuff that I've got. But yeah, business in a box. Like if I were restarting my business right now today, this is 100% exactly what I would do to start it. And the cool part is not one thing that I teach you is going to require cold calling. Not one thing that I teach you is going to require door knocking. Who's JT? Who didn't JT have something in a box? Oh, a dick in a box. Got it. Yeah, JT had a dick in a box. What's up, Andrew? Great question, Kim. Gosh, thank you for adding so much value. I love it. Let's see. Thank you for sharing your many years of perfecting your methods and giving back at a reasonable price. I'll be in touch. Oh man, thank you. I appreciate that. I believe was that Chris that said that. I super appreciate that, Chris. Kim's like, I try to add value. Yeah. So you're very welcome, guys. And look, let's just be clear. Obviously, Reraw is a for-profit business, right? But the only way that I'm profitable in Reraw is by being successful with helping you deploy and helping you grow and make money. Now, here's what I'm not trying to do. By the way, guys, if you have questions about FSBO and expired stuff, please ask. Please ask. I'm here answering FSBO and expired questions for free. So if you're struggling with your lead gen, if you're struggling with lead gen, then like all good. Like we're good. Just ask questions and I'm here to help you. If you don't ask me questions, I'm going to just sit here and ramble and babble on until I'm blue in the face or feel like not talking anymore until I run out of tea or water or something. Right. Or until I feel like going home and putting my dick in a box, Kim. So anyway, see what I did there? Did you get that? Got you. Yeah. So guys, the idea here, the whole reason this stuff exists, right, is because there's so much coaching out there that tells agents that the only way to be successful is to be cold calling and door knocking. That the only way to be successful is to harass people. That the only way to truly be successful in real estate is to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and do these tired old strategies that Williamson teaches from, teaches like all their agents from the 90s, right? And by the way, I'm just fucking with you. Like, there's so many brokerages that are just teaching stuff that is like old. And it's not that like cold calling can't work and doesn't work. It does work. But are there better ways and more effective ways to build relationships and to spend your time? Yes, 100%. And so if you're a cold caller, I can make you a better cold caller because I can teach you how to add real value. I can teach you how to actually target people that have that you have something to offer, right? Aside from, well, I'm a better agent, so you should work with me. That's bullshit. Like maybe you are a better agent, but guess what? Nobody gets to find that out unless they take the risk to experience your service. And that's a big risk to take for somebody that just lost out on an opportunity to sell because their listing expired. So you guys have to start realizing and understanding that there's other ways to reach people. And if you like the way that you are reaching people, there are other ways to message and add value, right? And add solution to the people that you're targeting. So those are things I want you to keep in mind. But what this program is going to do and what's important about it is I want everyone to have a set of foundational tools, from goal setting, from financial understanding, about how I go about doing my very own business, and about what you need to get going. Too many people get out of this business because they paralyze themselves in the first month getting in, right? Because they're like, I got to get my business cards, my fucking logo, and like I got to call my sphere, but I don't have a sphere. So now I finally, like, I got an excuse. So that's really nice. An excuse is wonderful. Guys, you can't have more excuses than you have strategies. You can't. You can't have more excuses than you have strategies and then still think that you're going to be successful. You've got to go out and kick some ass. You've got to just play the game. In this business, you eat what you kill, which means you have to have practical strategies and tactical strategies that actually work to be able to play the game. So, for those of you who are interested, you can pick up actual, real tactical strategies. I leave nothing out, by the way. You can actually go to leaddrops.com and pick up my actual strategies that I teach every single month. You get a new one, which is cool. And these are strategies I typically sell for $200 to $400 a piece. So what's nice about it is you get an opportunity to get it for $20 a month. Now, why so cheap if that's the case, right? If they're so worth more. Simple, because it's a use it or lose it. It's a learn it or dump it deal, right? Like, it's a consume it or gone, consume it or lose it. Every month, what you learned the month before, it's off the dashboard. So if you didn't watch the videos, if you didn't take notes, if you didn't get your shit done, you're done. It's out. And then you got to just move on. The other thing that's cool is if you stay in for 12 months, and I've got more than 12 strategies, so you can stay in for years if you want. But let's say you stayed in for 12 months. If in 12 months, I'm not expecting you to like all 12 strategies. What I figure is you'll like maybe 3 or 4 of them, and you can implement and deploy those. But over the course of 12 months, you spend a total of $240 for stuff that would normally cost you $4,800 if you bought them individually, right? So it takes you a little longer to get the content and the information, but it's in a very consumable format that doesn't take you years to learn, right? So you get a new strategy, you can learn it in a couple hours most, implement it, deploy it. If you like it, keep doing it. If it doesn't work for you and you think it sucks, hopefully it inspires new opportunity. And if it doesn't even do that, then no worries. You dump the strategy and move on. Who gives a shit about the $20? You get the next month. You call it a new opportunity, and you go from there. This Jesus Christ, I think I got a hole in my fucking chin. I'm like spilling everywhere. God damn. Okay, so who has questions about lead generation? Who has questions about FSBO's expired? Guys, I'm here to serve. So if I don't see questions, I'm going to keep on rambling on. And we're going to just we're going to keep going for a couple minutes. And if I still don't see questions, then I'm going to wrap. Not like, well, like not the actual like music rap. Like that was a terrible impression. I'm sorry. I should be banished from social media and any public appearances from now on. But no, just wrap it up. So if you guys have questions about lead gen, if you're struggling with cold calling, if you're struggling with door knocking, if you're struggling with direct mail, with Facebook ads, you're struggling with whatever, if you're struggling on your follow-up, like how can I help you, right? If you guys have any questions, just ask. This shit is free right here. There's no cost to you to be on here with me. So let's talk it out. But what I'm going to do with this business in a box is take all of your excuses away, and I'm going to give you the actual like super lean business plan, right? So, you don't have to have some crazy expensive CRM. You don't have to go out and like, buy leads for $10,000 a week and like shit like that, right? So I'm going to teach people how to actually build a business. And some of it is based on what I actually did when I started. And some of it is based on my hindsight because I've corrected and fixed and created at a higher level things that, I could do better, that I have done better, that I've learned and evolved into more productive strategies over the years. So anyhow, that's what we got. Kim, any more funny jokes out there? I'm just messing with you. Guys, who has questions about FSBO or expired? Who has questions about anything business related that I can help you with? Is there anything you're struggling with that I can help you with? What is it that I can do for you? Don't be a stranger. You don't ask the question, you don't get the help. Megan says, I'm going after an expired that's way overpriced. Another agent told me not to bother. Kind of got in my head. How do you approach an overpriced? Megan, that is a great question. And yeah, I don't fucking know. You're on your own there. I'm totally kidding. No, I'm kidding. Great question. So, guys, when we are approaching an overpriced opportunity. Oh, bear with me a moment. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just copying a couple of questions down so I can answer them. There we go. Over here, if you guys have questions here on YouTube, by the way, guys, you can always find me on YouTube. So I've got a channel on YouTube called Reraw, and you're more than welcome to go over there. Jesus Christ. Um, you're more than welcome to go over there and subscribe to my channel. So when I go live, if you're whether you're not in this group or in a different group or whatever it is, or if you like Facebook better, then you can be on Facebook. You like YouTube better and be on YouTube. See, like I see Elmer's over here now. He was over here, but now he's over here. What's going on, bro? Um, let's see. So, all right. So let me get back up to speed here. I have deviated. All right, let's go here. This one's done. Did I answer this question? I think so. Let's do done. Let's do done on this. All right, let's do. All right, so overpriced. So, oh, Isachar, Instagram, yes. And you know what, dude? I'm gonna be getting another phone soon, and I think I'm gonna keep this one that I'm on right here in action, and then I'll have because I've got like my iPad, but my iPad didn't have a lot of space to play on it. So what I'll do is I'll keep this phone, probably do Instagram on it. I got this camera over here for YouTube. I've got my I'll use the new phone for like Facebook, and I've got another camera, like whatever. So we'll continue expanding. But yeah, IG, that's one area I'm up in the game. All right, so going after an expired that's way overpriced. Another agent told me not to bother. Kind of got in my head. How do you approach overpriced? Well, the best way to approach the overpriced is to start understanding their motivation. Why is that price so important? And how did it get in their head? Why do they think it's worth that? Guys, a lot of the time what happens is we yield to the seller and we're like, all right, cool, like we'll do that, right? And a lot of times we yield to the seller and we say, cool, I'll list it really, really high, but I'm also you need a Streamcast setup. You know what, bro? I have Streamcast I've looked into, and I have another system or program, but I haven't gotten comfortable with it yet. All right, let me keep answering this. And yes, Isachar, we'll keep talking about that. Let's see, hang on. There we go. So what I was going to say is you've got to ask the right question. You got to understand their motivations. You got to learn what it is that's driving that action, that motivation, right? You've got to understand, like, what is it that planted the seed in their head? Because a lot of times what you can do is you can put a plan in place with your seller and say, hey, so if you want to take this $500,000 house and sell it for $2 million, that's great. And I'm all for it. I would love that. I'd make a shitload more money, but I don't know that it's worth 2 million. So how about we do this? How about we start it at 2 million? And then when you fail miserably after 3 weeks, we're going to drop it to 500 grand. And if they say no, go piss up a rope. Cool. Then maybe it's not the right listing for you to take, but it's important for you to ask the right questions and understand the strategy. A lot of times people overprice because their agent was just like, dude, if that's the price you want, I'm going to get it for you. Right. So they overpromise, underdeliver, and then the client's the one that ultimately suffers. So, oh my gosh, I didn't spill that time. I'm very proud of myself. So it's important that we ask the right questions. And another thing to do is to make sure that you know how much they owe on the property. You know, they may want that because like that's the only way they can get out of it whole. And it may mean that you need to give them the unwanted but real advice that like it's just not a possibility, and they may need to explore some other options. They need to rent it out for a little while, or go rent something else of their own that's more practical for them, like all that stuff, right? And Zillow told him it was worth it. Oh my gosh, excuse me, sorry. Long day. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, Zillow says overpriced. Sometimes Zillow says underpriced too. So say la vie. Does that answer your question? Maybe that's not a great answer, but I think that's the most appropriate answer under the circumstances. I mean, honestly, like a lot of times it's really just about the fact that we got to set the appropriate expectations, and we got to learn exactly what they want. Like if we understand their motivations and we understand like what exactly they're looking for and why they want to achieve it, then it's a lot easier for us to help with that. Next question is, best FSBO approach is the question. So what is the best FSBO approach? Well, my approach for sure. In fact, the one that you can get in lead drops is hands down the best FSBO approach ever. But it is it's a direct mail piece, and it's a total takeaway approach, guys. Like the best way to approach the FSBOs is to not sound like every other desperate agent. The best way to approach FSBOs is a takeaway. It's to make sure that like you give people an opportunity to completely reject you. It's the best approach for a FSBO is to make sure that you're not doing a bait and switch. You're not doing the smoke and mirrors. People, we forget like how much FSBOs in general don't like agents because they obviously don't value our services. They don't think they need us, right? So, excuse me, I'm gonna just get a cough drop so I can have this handy. Sorry, I get real caught up down there. Want to make sure I can keep talking to you. But yeah, like we got to make sure that we're adding real value. If we're not adding real value to the FSBO, then what's the purpose, right? Like the problem is I disagree with you on that. The problem is so many people do this whole thing like, well, I'd like to come and preview your house to see if it's a good fit for any of the buyers that I have. And the FSBO is like, yeah, you and every other fucking agent. Like, no thanks. Like, be the one agent that actually does what they say they're going to do. If you're going to go over there and preview the house, then go over there and preview the house. Don't bring a bunch of stuff with you. Like, be honest about it. Do you actually have a buyer? Well, I could have a buyer. Fuck you. If you don't have a buyer, then don't say that you have a buyer. It's really simple. All right, bear with me here. Okay. Next is, oh yeah, so direct mail. The direct mail approach is the best approach for FSBOs. It's a total takeaway approach. Give as much advice as a FSBO wants. Like give them. Everyone's like, oh, don't give them any advice unless they sign a contract and say they'll pay you. Fuck that, dude. Give them as much advice as they want. Give it away. You don't have to help them once they have a contract and like want to negotiate a deal, but you can still give them advice. It's like super not that difficult. Anyway, that's exactly what I am teaching in lead drops this month though. So like you get that opportunity. But yeah, I found direct mail has the best ROI for me on that. You can use the letter as a Facebook ad. I don't know that it would be the best thing to do. I think that like doing a video Facebook ad that just kind of like presents who you are and you just canvas in a big area, you know, like within a radius, and you know, you can still target. You can't exclude the way you used to be able to on Facebook, but there's also some really great ways that you can be marketing on YouTube right now. That still allows for a lot more flexibility than what like Facebook does. So I would consider that. But yeah, I would, yeah, and you can use the letter as a Facebook ad. I just don't think it's going to be as effective. I admittedly have not used the letter specifically as a Facebook ad. If I was going to do the Facebook ad with that in mind, I would just do a video ad, or drive them to my video landing page. Take the listing. The buyer determines the price. You may find someone willing to pay that price. Look, I don't think there's anything wrong with taking an overpriced listing as long as you have the fair expectation and as long as you've been honest, not only with yourself, but also the seller, that things may not work at that price. And you need to be transparent about what you are and are not willing to do for marketing at that price. Because if you take that listing and then you are not willing to spend what you would normally spend on marketing, then like that's not cool, you know? So you need to let them know, like, oh, I'll take the, here's a true story. Last year, and it actually closed this year, excuse me, earlier this year. But earlier this year, I had a super overpriced listing. There's a past client of mine, and he's like, dude, I want to sell my house, and it was worth like 1.2, 1.25. Um, yeah, thanks, Isaachar. Isaachar says good idea about the video ad, explaining the letter. Yeah, exactly. Right. Just same message, different way to deliver it. But dude he's like, I don't really have to sell my house. Just want to fish for a price and see if I can get it. And I was like, all right, well, whatever. I don't give a shit. I'll put it on the market and it's all good. But please know that like I'll pay for photography and like virtual tour and all that stuff. But like I'm not going to put a ton of money behind this after the first month because I'm kind of pissing into the wind here. Well, it wasn't until the guy's situation changed. What's up, Misty? And then came to his senses. And then, long story short, we dropped the price 300 grand back to where I told him. And then we sold it within like a week. So, um, there's nothing wrong with taking the overpriced listing as long as all parties are understanding. What's up, April? All parties understand where things are at, right? So just don't be deceptive with it. But um, you also may want to consider like whether or not you want to burn a bunch of marketing dollars. If you don't have a lot of money or time to spend, then you may not want to spend it on a listing that you know is overpriced, because also you're not going to get as much buyer activity. So Isaachar, I know you said like buyers determine the price, right? But you may not get as much buyer activity on a property that's way overpriced, and therefore you're not going to be looking at as many like qualified buyers and whatever. You also can make yourself look like an agent who doesn't know what they're doing, but we could argue on that till the cows come home. Take the listing. The buyer determines the price. You may find someone to list. Yeah, true. But we just talked about that. Okay, what else? What other questions? Oh, YouTube. YouTube's a great place to advertise, guys. Like it's no different than Facebook, except you're advertising on YouTube. But YouTube is like super underrated, and a lot of people don't understand the great value of YouTube and they don't want to leverage YouTube because they don't want to do videos. Get comfortable on video, start advertising on YouTube. You can actually pick the exact videos that you want to advertise on. You can pick areas, you can target income, you can target all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, YouTube has a lot of opportunity. It's a huge opportunity. If you get into lead drops, there may actually be an opportunity for you to learn how to do YouTube advertising, but I can promise you it won't be until next year because I already have my lineup done for the rest of this year and at least through the first quarter of next. So now you know Isaachar. Isaachar's like, dude, I did not know that. Yep. Carol says, is it worth mailing out? Hang on. Is it worth mailing out to expired listings over 2 years old? Actually, yes, it absolutely is, Carol. In fact, I find it to be more beneficial to mail out to expireds that are older. It's a different letter. It's a different approach. It's a different message overall. But old expireds are phenomenal because the fire's kind of burnt out. Like they're not angry anymore. The turn rate on them is actually phenomenal because then you can sit there. Houses expire because the price is not in alignment with what a buyer sees, right? So the home expires, and when the market advances and grows, you can sit there and be like, oh, well, wanted to talk to you about your listing that expired a couple of years ago. And I just wanted you to know, like, the state of the market actually would help you sell the house for the price you had before or above that based on what I'm seeing. You want to talk about it or no, right? Totally different letter, but yeah, the letter that you get with lead drops is something that you deploy like 0 to 90 days after a listing expires. But yeah, you can definitely do old expireds with a different letter that I have, and you could certainly make your own letter. So most definitely something to to keep in mind. But yeah, that's a great question, and yes, that's a great way to go about it. Who else has questions? Who else has questions? Who else has questions, guys? A couple more. I got time for a couple more here. So if you got questions and you want to pick my brain, I got to be honest with you guys. Like a lot of people who say they got questions and they want to talk about, um, they want to talk about, how expensive coaching is and all that good fun stuff. But guess what? You got me for free right now. Uh-oh, my phone's running out of juice. Carol's question, and this is the question of the night. Carol's question is, did you get a haircut? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Yep. I was gonna grow my hair out until Re-Raw turned to 7 figures, and I decided I probably misspoke, went a little too quickly on that. We're doing great, but 7 figures, we're gonna get there soon in the next couple years. But actually, the goal is to get there by the end of next year. But yeah, I didn't want my wife to have to deal with me. And I realized that probably was kind of not a fair thing for me to do, right? It's like, oh, I'm only going to eat cheeseburgers until, Re-Raw makes $1 million. All right. Well, that's fucking idiot. Like, why would you do that? It's like to your detriment, right? But yes, I did get a haircut. In fact, I gave myself a haircut, and I was trying to cut it this short, which is fine. I cut it this short before plenty of times. I've done my hair like this a bajillion times, but yeah, it ended up being a little shorter because I was trimming my beard to a 1, and then I went too high on the side and didn't blend it properly, and I fucked it all up. So I was like, all right, I guess we're starting over. So there you go. Kimberly says, if a seller wants you to list their home but at a flat fee, do you have a minimum, or how do you handle that? Usually the sellers I work with, usually the sellers that I work with have that I do flat fee for are investors. I do that so that they can establish their bottom line and know what their actual cost to turn is going to be. Excuse me. So that's typically where I do flat fee. Now, sorry, I just totally lost my train of thought. Haircut seller wants to list their home, but at a flat fee. So for me, yeah, I mean, my flat fee would be equivalent to what I would charge in commission. But I would probably overestimate it because I want to make that, right? Guys, it depends how bad you need and or want the deal. So if you want the deal, then be willing to make some concessions. It's all good. But yeah, I kind of am of the opinion that hey man, you win, I win, right? Do you guys understand, by the way? Do you guys understand random seller calls and asks because that's how they've done it in the past in another state? Good question. And that's a follow-up. So that's why I'm going to keep going down this path with Kim for a minute. But the response I would give to that, Kim, is this. And you don't say this to the seller, or the prospect, but think about it. Do you guys understand why real estate agents make the amount of money, or have the potential to make the amount of money that we do? You guys understand why? I see all these companies out there. They're like, oh, well, it's such bullshit to deal with the flat fee brokerage and to be competing with them. By the way, would you, the seller, be willing to reimburse me for photography, for video, for brochure cost, for all of my social media advertising, for all of the food I buy for the open houses, for the mega events that I'm going to throw and do all that stuff in the event that this doesn't sell? The reason real estate agents get paid so goddamn much is because the risk is so high. The risk that we take on is so high. If you don't have to front load a bunch of money to sell a property, your risk is significantly reduced. And if the risk is only on the seller, you shouldn't get paid as much. So you can flat fee if there's I don't have a problem flat fee brokerage stuff or flat fee service if I know that certain things are going to be covered. Like, for example, when I work with an investor and they're flipping a property, I already know they're going to stage. Well, I don't have to pay for staging. I already know they're going to want photography for their own portfolio. So I'll pay for the photography. And then if it doesn't sell, they'll just be like, well, I mean, whatever, like we want the photos for our stuff anyway, right? But they always sell because, I mean, that like they wouldn't work with me if they weren't selling anymore, right? But some of those things, some of those guarantees, some of that stuff, like they're willing to put the money out for because they have a purpose for it beyond just what I'm going to do with it, right? So the point is the risk for me is reduced and the volume is substantially higher. So again, it comes down, Kim, to, in my opinion, understanding their motives and why do they want that. Does that help at all? Megan says, my FSBO in, hey, your main photo is blurry. I'll come take one. I'll come take one and see if I can generate some buyer activity on social media. Yeah, I mean, Kim, props to you. I'm sure, or Megan, I'm sorry, props to you. I'm sure that works in some ways, but it's not my strategy. It seems a little respectfully. I'm not trying to shit on you, but to me, it seems a little gimmicky. I mean, you could just hire a photographer and get a new shot. You know what I mean? So, what's up, Hassan? Anyway, one man's opinion. No disrespect, but I would not deploy that myself. But more power to you. If it works, we all have our own strategies, and that's what makes the world go round. So good on you. Ishtar says, absentee owners, do you have a letter? Of course I do, bro. Is it out yet for you? Not yet, but it will be coming out. Retainer fee for investors, pretty much, right? Like flat fee. Who else has questions about FSBO's expireds? Who has questions about FSBO and expired prospecting? No cold calling or door knocking is necessary. Oh, somebody asked earlier, do I ever door knock? I apologize. And have I ever door knocked? The answer to that question is yes, I have door knocked. I've done millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of deals off of door knocking and cold calling. I have just found better ways to spend my time, and I have found way more effective strategies. It works for me after they're tired of the KW scripts. I like it. Well, you know what, Megan, like I said, if it works for you and it's all good with you, then play that game. By the way, what brokerage are you at? Out of curiosity. If it works for you, then play the game, right? It's all good. I mean, you don't know me. You don't know anything to me. I like the difference. It is different. And that's a good thing. Here's the thing. The reason I don't like it is because you're telling them that you're asking and you're front loading like the benefit for you, right? Like I noticed hang on, I want to read it directly. Hey, your main photo is blurry. I'll come take one and see if I can generate some buyer activity on social media. There's a lot of I in there, right? So what I would prefer to see is like, obviously you're finding out if they're cooperating, right? But what I would prefer to hear is hey, I noticed your front photo is blurry. Would it be all right if I came over and gave you a fresh photo or took a fresh photo that you can have to hopefully help you sell your house? And then like more focused on you like them, the seller, right? Hey, your main photo is blurry. Would it be helpful if I came over to take one to help you generate more traffic for your house? Would you like a fresh shot? Promise I won't bring any. I promise I'm not trying to get your listing, like whatever. And then while you're there, hey, would it be all right with you? I legitimately am just giving this to you as a gift. Like, thank you. I just wanted you to have like good representation for your house on like your front photo. Would it be all right with you if I popped a bit of this out there myself and tried to help you sell it? You know, if you're cooperating, that'd be great. You know, so that's kind of my approach, right? So like if you're gonna take that, I would make it sound more like this is about them, not you. But I'm not saying you're doing it selfishly. But obviously like both approaches are that selfish motive, right? We're trying to sell shit. But the point is I think that you could word it differently. But like I said, dude, I mean, shit, it's obviously working for you, Megan. What's up, Michael? And if it's working for you, and you're comfortable with it, and you're happy, and you can close shit, then do it. I like it. Play the game. Megan says, of course, actually do share the photo with them, and they almost always swap it on Zillow. I appreciate your advice for real. Oh, you're super welcome. And I assumed that you shared the photo with them. All I'm saying is when you change the wording that way and you ask for permission, right? You ask for permission instead of just like, hey, would it be? I'd like to, I'd like to give you this photo and blah blah blah, right? You ask for permission if you can keep a copy of it to share as well, right? And we all know they're going to say, yeah, that's fine. I mean, fucking help me sell my house, right? Like get some traffic. But my point is when you give people the opportunity to say no, you really empower them, right? You give them, you make them realize that like they can reject you. Most people don't like to say no. They don't like to say no. It's uncomfortable to reject somebody. So giving them permission on the front end to say no actually breaks down the barriers. A lot of times we do this like I'm not shitting on the guy, but like Chris Smith talks about like, you got to roll in the yeses, right? As you start arcing, it's like yes, yes, yes. Okay, now go for the close. And they're already used to saying yeses. And so you get in there, right? Now that's fine. But then you look at oh crap. I'm gonna miss the name. Hang on, I got it over here. Hang on. I promise it's there's a reason. There's a reason I'm bringing it up. Hang on. Oh, here it is. Chris Voss. Chris Voss, never split the difference. Negotiating as if your life depends on it, says you should be closing for the no first, because the no is what empowers the other side in negotiation to feel like they have the ability to walk away instead of like them feeling like they're getting manipulated or strongholded, right? So if you can give them the power and authority to like and give them permission rather to reject you, that's like really comforting to a lot of people. And I think you can realize some beneficial results from that. So is it the only way? Absolutely not. And Megan, you're welcome. And I appreciate you sharing. So thank you for sharing that with me. That's amazing. Who else? Any other questions, comments, concerns, death threats? I think the death threats would be quite unfounded, by the way. So no reason for that. Not here to promote violence. Bounce, bow wow. Who else has questions? Any other questions? All right. I got time for maybe one more question. Anybody have one more question? I'll take it. You got one more question. I will take one more question. Could be about anything. Preferably about FSBOs or expired lead gen, because that's where a lot of people seem to be struggling right now. Seems to be a very popular space that everyone wants to be in. But I will answer a question about anything. So if you have a question for me, question that can help you with your business, what can I do for you? What can I do? What can I answer? All right, guys. I don't see anything coming in. So guess what? We're going to go ahead and wrap things up. Here's the deal. We've got to make sure. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Stand by. Best way to locate FSBO, Zillow, or driving around. Well, FSBOs are easily found on Zillow. So that's like the best, easiest way. There's a slew of other sites like Calvin, if you just I mean, you can literally look up like FSBO. There's like FSBO.com, Zillow, for sale by owner.com. I mean, there's like a bunch of different places that you can go to like look properties up, right? So I would, but start with Zillow. That's the easiest. All right. Good night, Kim. Hey guys, that's all I got for now. Thank you very much for being here. Please remember to join my Facebook group. It is agent only. As an agent only Facebook group. No disrespect to the vendors and the lenders and the title reps and the loan officers and mortgage, title reps and escrow officers and all that good fun stuff. But I've got a group. Calvin says, but isn't everyone doing the same thing? No, that's the whole thing, is like you can target the same leads, Calvin, but be doing the targeting differently. But your messaging and the value and the solution that you offer is different. That's what I teach in lead drops. So no, not everybody is doing the same thing. Most are doing the same thing. This guy's doing something different. And that is what a lot of the agents I coach, teach, and work with. Like if you join lead drops, $20 a month, and you can learn all these things. But yeah, do it differently. You can target the same crowd and do things differently. I also, by the way, teach people how to target completely different crowds. It just so happens that this month we're focused on FSBOs. And I give an expired letter away for free just for joining. So you get your FSBO expired combo pack. What's up, Aldrin? Anyway, but guys, keep your mind open. Remember to try different things, do different things, be different. If you're doing the same thing that everybody else is doing, you're just lost in the crowd. Stand out among the crowd by doing something different. All right, by being different, by messaging different, by adding better value, different solution, and being able to prove it. So, guys, have a fantastic night. Remember something: real agents work. You absolutely have to be one of them, and you absolutely